Hello everyone, I will be playing Spiral Abyss with Yanfei and Noelle as my main attackers. In the first half, Yanfei is the main attacker. Xingqiu and Fischl as sub-DPS in this formation, which causes evaporation and overload. Weapons and artifacts are listed at the end of the video. Please check it out. In the first half, the enemies appear one by one, so make sure your organization is strong in one-on-one. Xingqiu and Fischl can use their skills to track normal attacks. Therefore, they are strong in one-on-one. There, evaporation and overloading with Yanfei can cause high damage. Electrocution is the state of having hydro element and electro element at the same time. By striking the pyro element into it, evaporation and overload can be generated at the same time. This is a powerful formation used in Raiden National. On the other hand, Noelle and Xiao are not suitable for one-on-one because of their slow attack speed instead of their wide attack range. In this season's Spiral Abyss, those characters are effective in the second half. By the way, in the first half of Chamber 3, there is a boss called Algorithm of something. To defeat that boss, it is effective to take at least one character of Electro Element. For this reason, Fischl is employed this time. In the latter half of the game, Noelle is the main attacker. Since I have Noelle with Serpent Spine, I wait until the effect is maximized. First, dash to the far end. Then, the enemies will gather in a good way. As I mentioned earlier, Noelle has a wide attack range. Therefore, it is effective in group battles. In this season's Spiral Abyss, 3 to 4 enemies appear at the same time in the second half. Also, if you wait at the back, 3 Abyss mages will gather and warp to you. Wipe them out with Noelle. It is hard to break the shield of Abyss Mage. However, if you use a Nemo or Geo, it is easy to break them regardless of the type of element. In this case, a Nemo is the most effective, but I used Geo. I used Geo because I wanted to use Noelle. I love Noelle. Now, I was able to break the shield. After the shield is broken, Abyss Mage is soft, so let's bump it up with Noelle. Finally, 4 Eremites appear. These guys will attack you with Hydro and Cryo in coordination. They will freeze you and you will be unable to move. If this happens, your DPS will drop and your character will die. The best way to deal with this is to avoid them by sprinting or using Elemental Burst at the right time. Elemental Burst by Bennett or Jean is also effective. They regularly attach elements to their allies, which can peel off the freeze. By the way, I have Beidou in this party. She works well with the Geo party. There are 2 reasons. First, because she can put up a shield with Elemental Burst or Crystallize, which eliminates the disadvantage of Serpent Spine and makes it easier to cause Elemental Resonance. Second, because she is strong in group fights. Her Elemental Burst can effectively deal damage when there are a lot of enemies. In the first half of Chamber 2, the first 3 samurai appear. These guys are not that strong, so it will not be a problem. If I had to say so, I would say that the purple samurai have more HP, so target this guy and attack him. If he takes a defensive posture, your DPS will drop, so aim at the other enemies. Yanfei's charger attack can do some broad damage. They approach on their own, so it is effective to roll them in to deal damage. In this video, I failed to defeat the purple samurai first. Then you will get dazed like this, so don't try to imitate me. Next, 1 scorpion and 1 bird appear. They will first attack at the same time. Look carefully at the circles that appear around their feet and avoid their attacks. Otherwise, you will be damaged like me. Be careful. This enemy is the centerpiece of this season's Spiral Abyss. These guys are very scary. Because they are very aggressive. They have high attack power and are very capable of knocking back their opponents. In my team composition this time, I use Yanfei's shield, Xingqiu's damage reduction, and Bennett's recovery to shrug them off. Once you damage these guys to a certain extent, objects will appear nearby. Destroying this object will cause the enemy to go down for a certain amount of time and their resistance will be lowered. Purple objects can be destroyed quickly by dealing electro damage and red objects by dealing pyro damage. Therefore, it is a good idea to have a pyro and electro character for the first half of the game. Thoma and Beidou are options since they are these elements but can also put up shields. Also, if you have Zhongli, you will have more options since he can solve your shielding problems. Now, in the second half, first wait until the serpent spine is maximally effective. There will be 3 enemies, Maguu Kenki. These guys will first unleash a simultaneous attack, so use elemental burst at the right time to avoid the attack. To protect the effective serpent spine, you want to avoid being attacked as much as possible. You need to be a little tricky when fighting these guys. Anemo's Maguu Kenki will not approach you once it has established a distance. Therefore, it is important to understand his movements. If you watch his movements closely, you will notice that he tries to get behind your character. So, when he is about to leave the regular Maguu Kenki, try to approach Anemo's Maguu Kenki. A common mistake here is to aim at Cryo's Maguu Kenki. This guy flies so far away from you that you are tempted to chase after him. However, Maguu Kenki of Cryo approaches on its own, so there is no need to chase it. Once you chase after it, your DPS will drop because it will be far away from Anemo's Maguu Kenki. Then try to hit all 3 Noelle's attacks at the same time as much as possible. If you can do the damage efficiently, you can make it in time for the time limit. Also, when using Noelle, it is important to note that Gorou's defense buff is only applied at the moment Noelle's elemental burst is used. If you use Gorou's skill after using Noelle's elemental burst, your DPS will drop. Now, finally I could come to Chamber 3. What comes up is algorithm of something. First of all, this guy can't do any damage for the first few seconds. So, use your skill to replenish elemental charge. Then it will appear for a few seconds, but will disappear again soon. While it is still visible, attack it as much as possible. After that, 2 spinning tops will appear. You can destroy them quickly with Xingqiu and Oz. After destroying them, the green spinning top can only be destroyed by electro damage. Destroy it with Fischl. If you do not destroy it with electro, it will disappear after a certain time, but the time for the algorithm of something to appear will be shortened instead. Therefore, the electro character is necessary. When the algorithm of something appears, attack it with all your might. After it gets up, it will summon spinning tops and disappear again, so be sure to recover Xingqiu's elemental charge before it does so. Then, go through the same process one more time. In terms of time limit, you have to defeat him within 2 laps to leave time for the second half. If you don't make it in time for that, you probably haven't trained your character well enough, so strengthen it. Talent level should be 12 for a 4-star character and 9 for a 5-star character. In addition to preparing strong weapons and artifacts, the character's own level is also surprisingly important. This is because the game is designed so that damage is attenuated by the difference in level between the enemy and your character. So, try to keep your character's level as close to 90 as possible. In the second half of the game, the first 3 the Eremites will appear. These guys can be surprisingly disjointed. You can prevent this by guiding them to the wall. Defeating the 3 executives of the Eremites that appear after this will be difficult, so defeat these 3 as quickly as possible. You should be aware that Noelle's normal attack should be stopped by the 3rd one. This is because the 4th attack is a vertical swing, so it is difficult to hit more than one of them. If you miss to defeat only one enemy, you should attack with Ningguang's attack. Her elemental burst sends multiple rocks flying, so if you hit one enemy, you can do a lot of damage. Finally, 3 of the Eremites' moms will appear. Focus your attacks on the snake charmer among them. Don't worry about the scorpion user, as she will warp and come close to the bird user's area. Also, the snake charmer will warp backwards when it goes down. Then all 3 of them will come together nicely when they all go down. The rest is easy, just hit them all with Noelle. How was that? If you liked it, please subscribe to our channel and give us a high rating. I didn't add commentary in my previous videos, but I did this time. If they are well received, I will continue with this style in the future. Also, since I am not good at English, I used translation and reading software. If there is anything wrong, I would appreciate it if you could point out the mistakes in the comments. Thank you for watching my video. See you next time.